So today's lesson is Everyday Math, Unit 5-8, tenths and hundredths for grade 3. And here's how you can help your kiddos a little bit. There aren't actually any new vocabulary words introduced in this unit, but you are going to want to know the word tenth, okay, which is like 1 out of 10 or 1/10 of something, or in the case of a number grid, 10 out of 100. And you're also going to want to know the word hundredth, which is 1 out of 100, okay, or 100th part of something. Okay, when we write these in the decimals, tenths are written as 0.1, that's 1/10, and hundredths are written as 0.01. This means 100th of something. Okay, and the way that's indicated with these, we use these base 10 blocks. Okay, this is the flat. This is 1/10 of the flat. Okay, 1 out of 10. All right, and this indicates a part of 1. This is 1. This is only a tenth of the 1. And this is how we would write that. And this, we use a cube to indicate 100th of 1. This is just 100th, one tiny little part of the cube. We would need one of the flat. We would need 100 of these to make one. And it's written in this way, 100th. So the kiddos do need to know those vocabulary words again for this lesson. They were introduced in Unit 5-7. We want kids to be able to read and write the decimal numbers to the hundredths. So we want them to be able to talk about the tenths and write that, and also be able to do the hundredths. So we want them to be able to look at a number grid and to know how many hundredths it is, how many hundredths is on there, and to be able to write that out. So this is a tenth, but it's also 10 hundredths. You know, you can see there are 10 little cubes in that long as a part of that. So we want them to use these base 10 blocks and grids to be able to figure those things out, to model and compare the decimals to hundredths. So even though this is 1/10, it's also 10 hundredths, and they would add it to this, and we would have 12 hundredths. Okay, the way we would write that would be 12 hundredths would be 0.12. That would be 12 hundredths, and we want kids to be able to use these base 10 blocks and number grids to do that. We also want them to be able to look at a number grid that's got this on it and say, well, I know that's 12 out of 100. So we would want them to be able to go and say, not only is that written this way, but it's 12 out of 100. It's written that way, 12 hundredths. And then we have a grid right here on paper, so they would be able to recognize that this flat is the same as this, and they would be able to place the blocks and the longs on the grid here, or they would be able to draw them in with a pencil. Okay, sometimes the grids are smaller. This actually represents the exact same size, but it's not always that way. And we want them to use the base 10 blocks and grids to represent decimal and fraction equivalencies. So basically that means we want them to be able to say, I know that what I saw right here, this 12 hundredths, I know that 12 hundredths written like this is the exact same as 12 hundredths written like this. So we want them to be able to write it in the decimal form, decimal, and also we want them to be able to write it in the fraction form. Okay, and the good part about this is we're just talking about hundredths right now, so the bottom of the fraction is always going to be 100, and it's how many little cubes out of 100. Okay, so that's the good part about that. If you just can remember the bottom's 100, the top is just however many cubes it is. Right now it's 12. If I add 2 more, it would be 14. Okay, and the number would just change to 14. And then this would also just change to 14 for 14 hundredths. So that's the basic idea of this lesson that we're hoping kiddos will get the hang of. Again, to help kids with this at home, basically we just want to help them see that there's numbers smaller than 1. Okay, you can help them use money to do that with. You know, look at this flat as the dollar, and here's a dime, here's 4 pennies. Okay, you can help them count that, and you look at 1 penny as like 1/100th. All right, you could be counting money at home. Anything that you can break up into pieces smaller than one will help kiddos get the idea of this. And if you do have something that's broken up into 100 pieces, okay, hopefully not too many things are broken up into 100 pieces, but if you have 100 pieces of something, you can certainly use that to help kids count and say, well, this is 100 pieces of this broken vase. Okay, there's 100 broken pieces in all, and here's 4 broken pieces, and don't touch them because it's sharp. All right, but how many broken pieces of the vase am I holding? All right, it would be 4 out of 100, even though that's not quite accurate because these are all exactly even. If you had a broken vase or something, it's not going to be evenly broken. But anyway, this is today's lesson, tenths and hundredths, and that's how you do it and how you can help your kids do it at home. So just use some money and help them out. Thank you.